to defend her unity and uphold our honor and glory. So help me God. How are you? Honorable members, I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings of Thursday, 23rd of September, 2021. Honorable members, I have an announcement here on the death of the late Hajia Hadiza, the wife of the late President Shehu Shagari. Colleague, Honorable Aminu Shehu Shagari. She lived a modest life strictly according to the tenets of her religion, Islam. May her gentle soul rest in peace. This happened back in August, I think, when we were away. So we'll just do a quick 1 minute prayer for the late Hajia Shagari, and I guess Honorable Salame will give us a quick short prayer. Please, let's rise for a minute.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا اللهم اغفر لها وارحمها اللهم اغفر لها وارحمها اللهم أكرم نزلها ووسد مدخلها واغسلها بالثلج والماء والبرد اللهم إن كانت محسنة وزد في إحسانها وإن كانت مسيئة فتجاوز عن سيئاتها اللهم اغفر لها وللمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك قريب مجيب الدعوات يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والرحمة والمغفرة لحاجة حديدة يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم اغفر لها وارحمها اللهم اغفر لها وارحمها اللهم وسد مدخلها اللهم اغسلها بالثلج والماء والبرد ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
May your soul rest in peace. I have with me a letter from our colleague, Honorable Engineer Suleiman Abubakar Gumi. Announcement, letter of notification of conferment of fellowship award. I write to formally notify the Honorable Speaker and my colleagues that on the 19th of May 2021, the prestigious Nigerian Society of Engineers conferred on me the fellowship of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, FNSE. The purpose of this correspondence is to formally notify the Honorable Speaker and my honorable colleagues of this great achievement. I accept, as always, the assurance of my highest regard. So that is to announce that our colleague, Honorable Engineer Suleiman Abubakar Gumi, is now a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Congratulations. Is Honorable Gumi here? Congratulations wherever you may be. Honorable colleagues, on a sad note, there's an invitation to the burial ceremonies of our late colleague, Honorable Adedayo Isaac Omolafe. Expensive. The ceremonies are as announced. The burial programs will be Wednesday, 29th of September in Akure. There will be a day of tributes. Thursday, the corpse leaves for the lying in state, and the Christian wake keeping will be at 4 p.m. in Akure, Ondo State. That's on Thursday. Friday is the church service, St. David's Cathedral Church in Akure, Ondo State, time 10 a.m. Interment follows immediately at late Honorable Adedayo's residence, and the entertainment of guests at St. David's Cathedral Church in Akure. The announcement says you should please kindly leave the dates open in your diaries in order for you to pay your last respect to our departed icon. Other members, please spread the announcement. You can get in touch with the organizing committee, that's Honorable Mayowa, and any member of Ondo State. They'll fill you in with the details. Let us try as much as possible to be in attendance to pay our last respects. I think I have another announcement from Honorable Samuel Gode of Benue State. Notification of my exit from the Labour Party to the All Progressive Congress. All right, to formally notify you of my defection from the Labour Party to the APC. I have fully registered and since commenced party activities in my constituency and Benue State as a whole. Sir, this exit has become necessary as a result of the lingering crisis in my former party and your towering leadership qualities displayed since the commencement of this assembly. I sincerely thank the acting national chairman of the APC, His Excellency Umai Malaburi, and the Honorable Minister for Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Senator George Akume, for their support in making this possible. Thank you, Honorable Gode Odegboyi Samuel. Honorable Gode, congratulations. No, this way. Honorable Elumelu, no objection from PDP. Because it's Labour Party, right? No objection. If you are not tired of talking, you can talk. It's okay, don't worry. Any petition? Just put on your mic if you have a petition. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and my very dear colleagues. For me, I'm Ochichukwu Namobi, and I represent the good people of Ahoda West and Oba Idem Mandoni Federal Constituency from Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, with me is a petition from Association of Landlords of Onelga, who are asking for this time, at this time from us, to intervene to ameliorate the plight because they have issues with Nigerian NNPC and its subcontractor that happens to be, I beg your pardon, 1 minute, please. Well, Mr. Speaker, this petition is against the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, and the substance of this petition is that NNPC has allegedly neglected and abused the landlords. Therefore, they're seeking for us to help in the non-implementation of the freedom to operate encroachment. I beg that I lay this motion, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. Petition. Is that all the petition? Is that all we have? Mukhtar? Your mic is not coming on. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Mukhtar Ahmed, politically known as Morovia. I represent Kaduna South Federal Constituency, and I have a petition, Mr. Speaker, that I want to lay from the Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria. The petition is against the Ministry of Industry and sunflower millers in the country. It is on the disturbing predicament in the industry and the collection of 15% levies, denial of survival subvention, non-provision of forex to flour millers through special CBM preferred window, and others by the federal government of Nigeria. Permit me to lay the petition, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Sorry, Mukhtar, please lay your petition. Pray? Okay.
So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Priye Oseki, representing Southern Ijo Federal Constituency and from Bayelsa State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition before the House here from one of my constituents from Olugboboro community against the Nigerian Haji Poi Company, on a call for justice in respect to the immeasurable damages and sufferings caused by the spillage of 23rd July 2015, emanating from the facilities of the Nigerian Haji Poi Company in the Olugboboro community axis along the Wembri-Tebidaba pipeline. Mr. Speaker, with your kind leave, I wish to lay the petition.
Please go ahead. Thank you. All petitions refer to the Committee on Public Petitions. Honorable Siaka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Ibrahim Ayokule Siaka is my name. I speak for and on behalf of the good people of Ifor, Ewekro Federal Constituency.
Honorable Mwauba, Honorable, are you fighting on the floor?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I'm from Ogun State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Order A to 4 of this very House, considering Section 1, 2, subsection 1, 2, and 3, asking the leader of the House and Mr. Speaker to move the motion of urgent public importance on the seemingly intractable conditions of all our federal roads in the country, as in urgent need for emergency repairs of badly failed sections of roads and bridges affected by the rainfalls across the nation. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Lanre Edu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleagues, I'm Representative Edron Lanrewaju, representing all the people of Abeokuta South Federal Constituency. I'm from Ogun State. I stand to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Isiaka Ayokule. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Those who feel this matter is urgent and public, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Isiaka, move your motion, please.
Okay, thank you very much once again, Mr. Speaker. Our quintessential man with substantial values. Distinguished honorable members here, I rise to move this motion of urgent public importance on the need to carry out emergency repairs on badly failed sections of roads, bridges affected by rainfalls across the nation. The House notes the recent torrential rainfall experienced across the country in the last 3 months, which has caused severe damages to roads and bridges in different parts of the country, leaving behind tales of woes, despondency, social and economic challenges. Aware that no region in the country is spared from this national act of God, bridges and culverts have been submerged, roads have collapsed, and access to many towns and cities across the nation have been completely cut off due to the impassability of the affected roads and bridges. Concerned that based on
silence, please.
Assessment
Honorable Nasiru Ali Ahmed, Honorable Ustaz.
Carried out across the country,
Honorable Nasiru Ali Ahmed, silence, please.
Length of the damaged roads in the country is well over 6,000 kilometers.
Honorable Nasiru Ali Ahmed. It is my understanding that you just arrived from Turkey.
That this existential...
It is my understanding that you and Honorable Henry Nwauba just arrived from Turkey. Is that correct? On official assignment. Can you please both move to the back of the chambers? There's so many seats at the back. Really, you're supposed to be isolated. That's a red flag country. So thank you.
Move to the back.
Or if you like, you can go to the gallery.
I'll come and sit with the chair.
I'm not supposed to be in the chamber.
Okay.
Henry, you can sit with Honorable Elumelu. I want to see if your leader will drive you away. Your leader doesn't want you to sit with him. Leader. And you are from Delta. And leader, you are from Delta. The Delta variant. Go ahead, Honorable Isiaka. Sorry to disturb your flow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for protecting and still granting me the floor. Worried that this existential threat is posing a danger to human safety and causing significant disruption to both economic and social activities. Motorists and commuters are enduring untold hardship, and the security of lives and property of Nigerians have been greatly threatened considerably. With the advent of these and all these challenges facing the country, which we call a force majeure, the House therefore resolved that 1. Mandates the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to immediately mop up all necessary resources to commence emergency repairs on all the worst affected roads and bridges across the nation. 2. Mandates the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to present to the House Committee on Works with immediate effect an action plan that may require any further legislative framework for immediate intervention on this very all-important program. 3rd, mandate the Committee on Works to follow up and to ensure compliance with this resolution of the House. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Bichich. Your mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Abubakar Bichi. I'm a member representing Beachford constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Kano State. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague, Honorable Isaka. The Speaker is so second.
Straightforward. Does anybody want to add anything? Let's put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Lumelu, you have a motion, right? Oh, it's on the notice paper. Okay. So we'll move on. Before that, the Harmonization Committee, 7-man Harmonization Committee for the Electoral Amendment. The members are as follows. The committee will be led by Honorable Adeyemi, Honorable Faleke, Honorable Azubogu, Honorable Kalambina, Honorable Blessing, Onu, Honorable Aisha Duku, and Honorable Idem for South South. Again, it will be led by Honorable Adeyemi, and there will be Honorable Faleke, Honorable Azubogu, Honorable Kalambina, Honorable Blessing Onu, Honorable Idem, and Honorable Aisha Duku. Honourable members, the first business of the day is presentation of 3 bills. I now invite the clerk to read the short title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Federal University of Medical and Environmental Sciences in Ekiti State Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. University Teaching Hospital Lafayette Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. University Teaching Hospitals Reconstitution of Boards ETC Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading.
The first order of the day is a third reading of a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Maritime Security Trust Fund for the purpose of training, provisions of security equipment and facilities, enhance the skills of the personnel of the Nigerian Navy, and for related matters, stand in the name of the House Leader. Honorable members will recall that the bill was adopted at the Committee of the Whole on Thursday, 23rd of September 2021, and I invite the Leader of the House to that the bill be now read a third time. Deputy Leader. The Leader is not around, so the Deputy Leader.
Mr.
Speaker and my dear colleague, I move that the bill for an act to establish Nigerian Maritime Security Trust Fund for the purpose of training, provision of security equipment, and related facilities, enhance the skills of the personnel of the Nigerian Navy, and for related matter, HB 1243 be read for the third time. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Navy, please second.
I am Yusuf Gagdi. I represent Panshinkanki Kanam Federal Constituency from Plateau State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second a motion heavily moved by the House Leader for a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Maritime Security Trust Fund for the purpose of training, provision of security equipment and related facilities, and enhanced skill of the Nigerian Navy, and for related matter. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, the question is that the bill be now read a third time. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please read the long title.
Honourable Speaker, honourable members, a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Maritime Security Trust Fund for the purpose of training, provision of security equipment and related facilities, enhance the skills of the personnel of the Nigerian Navy, and for related matters. Third reading.
Honourable Ataka, you're welcome. Second order of the day is third reading of a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Council for Social Work Practitioners and to regulate the practice of professional social work and for related matters. Honourable members will recall that the bill was adopted at the Committee of the Whole on Thursday, 23rd of September 2021, and therefore call on the Deputy Leader of the House to move that the bill be now read the third time.
Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, I am Comrade Peter Ohiozude Akpakasin. I represent the great people of Akoko Edo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I move that the bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria to provide professional training to directors and promote effective governance, public accountability, professional efficiency, and for related matters, HB. Sorry, Mr. Speaker. A bill for an act to establish Nigeria Council for Social Work Practitioners and to regulate the practice of professional social work and for related matter, HB 655 be read for the third time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman, Reformatory. Anayo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues. My name is Honorable Anayo Edwin. I represent the good people of Ezama Otisheli Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Ebonyi State. I rise to second that a bill for an act to establish Nigeria Council for Social Work Practitioners and to regulate the practice of professional social work for related matters, HB 655, be read for the third time.
Honourable members, the question is that the bill be read a third time. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please read the long title.
Honourable Speaker, honourable members, a bill for an act to establish Nigerian Council for Social Work Practitioners and to regulate the practice of professional social work and for related matters. Third reading.
On the general principles of a bill for an act to establish the Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria to provide professional training to directors and promote elective governance, public accountability, professional efficiency, and for related matters, standing in the name of the House Leader. Honourable members will recall that the bill was transmitted from the Senate seeking concurrence of the House and read the first time on Thursday, 15 July 2021. And I invite the leader to move that the bill be now read a second time. Deputy Leader, the issue with concurrences, has it been resolved? Your mic. Yes. Minority Leader, was it Minority Leader and Deputy and Majority Leader would set up a committee to look into?
Yeah, we are yet to sort out all the issues, but this one appears to be a non-controversial bill. So.
No, it's not about whether it's controversial or not. It's about whether we're getting, it's about how many is outstanding in the Senate. But yeah, go ahead. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Put the speaker on.
Mr. Speaker, from the reports, they have concord more to our bills than we concord to them. Yes. Yes. Rules and business. I have inquired from rules and business. They have concord more to our bills than.
So rules and business. Let us put it in writing and the details, and let us have it. It's not enough for rules and business to say, let's have it documented. Let's have it documented. Because I'm aware of several members who have their bills that have been sent there for a long time and still nothing has happened. So let's have it documented. Go ahead, Deputy Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, I move that a bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria to provide professional training to directors and promote effective governance, public accountability, professional efficiency, and for related matter, HB 1571 be read for the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Whip, can you second, please?
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marche Monguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I second the motion moved by the Deputy Leader of the House. I so second.
Okay, before we put the question, does anybody want to speak against this bill? No? Those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Chartered Institute of Directors of Nigeria to provide professional training to directors and promote effective governance, public accountability, professional efficiency, and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill is referred to the Committee of the Whole. Fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal University of Agriculture and Technology, Arbonne, and for related matters. Standing in the name of the House Leader, honorable members will recall that the bill was transmitted from the Senate, seeking concurrence of the House, and read the first time on Thursday, 16 September 2021. I now invite the Leader to move that the bill be now read a second time. Deputy Leader. Okay, Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable to be Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of our nutrition, the federal concern from Delta State. Based on what Chief Whip said, I think I will read it out so that everybody will listen. The executive summary of what has happened. 1, total number of bills transmitted to Senate, 104. Total number of House members' bills concurred with by the Senate, 17. Total number of bills awaiting Senate concurrence or action, 69 from House. Total number of bills from Senate, 58. So ours is more than by 11. That they are holding there. Total numbers of Senate bills House concurred with, 16. So it's only one, not
the way he stated it. Then total numbers of Senate bills awaiting consideration, 4, only 4, here, 4. Total number of Senate bills awaiting second reading, 38. So ours is 69 that is there. I felt that the House should be aware of this.
Yeah, go ahead. I was like,
okay. Thank you. This bill, I've stepped this bill up to 2 times now. Why I say so, Mr. Speaker, is that when you watch how many numbers of senators we have in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 109, and you have the number of House of Rep members, we have 360. Mr. Speaker, when you judge in terms of percentage, I think Senate have done well. 17 concord. Mr. Speaker, as of last week, 14 of the Senate owned has been concord by House of Rep. By now, 2 extra has joined, which is 16. And I believe that by the number of senators we have and the bills chucked into the process and the number of the House of Rep we also have, it depends. If you rate it in terms of percentage, I think Senate have also done well. And we shouldn't, I'm coming. We shouldn't, Mr. Speaker, we shouldn't.
Mr. Speaker.
The process of enactment of bill, sir. Sir, the process of enactment of bill, I'm coming, sir. I think I've been observed.
Order, please. Order, please.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, the 2 chambers coordinate among themselves through the principal officers.
BMCO, please resume your seats. Please resume your seats.
Mr. Speaker,
resume your seats first.
If there are only any
resume your seats.
If there is a gray area, Mr. Speaker, through which the House and the Senate have to come into those equitable and harmonious agreement, Mr. Speaker, it's the principal officers that takes care of that. And that's why we have principal officers. But stopping Senate bill in the floor of the House of Representatives is building that kind of clash that is not needed in democracy. No, I'm not. No, attempt.
Honorable Osai.
So sorry, I withdraw that statement. So, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, my belief, sir, stopping or try to stop this process of enactment of law through probably a rules that is not within the items that are not within our rules. How?
Honorable Osai. I believe, Honorable Osai, if you have a bill that you've labored hard, Honorable Osai, if you have a bill that you've labored hard to research and sponsor and argue and debate and put through public hearing in this floor and has been sent to the Senate and has been sitting there for 6 months, you will not be saying what you're saying today. That's number one. Number two, in everything in life, there's a doctrine called reciprocity. It's not, there's no hard feeling, there's no whatever. We just have to do things and carry each other along. I don't think there's any problem with the Senate. Nobody has any problem with the Senate. It's just important that bills that come from this House should receive the same treatment as bills that come from the Senate. If you have 100 and something bills, over 100 and something bills, the basis for your ratio, I fault. You are using the number of members of the House as a basis for your ratio. No, you shouldn't do that. The basis for your ratio should be the number of bills, not the number of members. If you have over 100 bills, or almost a very wide difference. So, but we have said it over and we don't want to label the point. I think we should, after taking this other concurrence, we should still wait. Clerk, at this point, I think you and we'll wait for the House leader is not in town. You should meet your Senate counterpart and let them know our thinking here. give him the number of bills that are outstanding and what we have in the House, so that you can come to some kind of agreement on how to move forward. But let it be noted, and let me state this very clearly, there is there's no problem between the Senate and the House. I think perhaps what is going on is a problem of, is an administrative problem between the administrative staff. So Clark, I'm putting this on you. It's got nothing to do with the senators. Thank you. So we'll take this last one, and then please, let's hold on all concurrence bills for now until we resolve this matter.
Mr. Speaker, sir, members are complaining seriously that they don't have copies of that document. So I seek leave of the House to step it down until the copies are available.
All right. Members don't have copies, so step down. The fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish the Nigeria Police College of Information Technology, Abeokuta, to provide academic and professional training in information technology and for related matters in the name of Honorable Isiaka Ibrahim. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, May 2019, and I invite the Honorable Ibrahim to make the bill. That the bill will now read a second time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Rep. Ibrahim Isiaka is my name. I speak for and on behalf of the good people of Ifo, Ewe Federal Constituency. Distinguished honorable colleagues, I rise here to put before you a debate on an act to establish, that is to provide legal framework for the Nigerian Police College of Information Technology, which is already cited in Abeokuta.
Silence, please. Leader, take your seat, please. Leader, take your seat, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The mic is fluctuating, shifting from one side to another. Like I said earlier on, it's already established, but we are trying to put oxygen legal framework for its consideration and existence. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? No, Babao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleague, my name is Honorable Yusuf Ahmed Bado, member representing Shano Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. I stand to second the motion heavily raised by my honorable colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Honorable Isiaka, this bill was read for the first time in 2019 and it's just coming up for second reading in 2021. That's almost 2 years. What happened?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Perhaps it's been a victim of circumstance. It has been rescheduled several times, and because of the workload. So I took my time and patience to allow you to come on this date, Mr. Speaker.
All right. So just for the question, those in support, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. The sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill. Oh, second reading. Okay, yes. Long title, please.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish Nigeria Police College of Information Technology, Abeokuta, to provide academic and professional training in information technology and for related matters. Second reading.
We refer to the Committee on Public Police Affairs and Information Technology. Sixth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to repeal the Public Enterprises Privatization and Commercialization Act, Capi 38 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Public Assets Reform Bill for improved efficiency and management of public assets in Nigeria, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Ibrahim Makama Musau and 27 others. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read first time on Tuesday, 6 July 2021, and I invite Honorable Musau to move that the bill be now read a second time.
Honorable Speaker, my respected honorable colleagues, this is a bill of an act to repeal the Public Enterprise, that is Privatization and Commercialization Act, Cap P 38 Laws of Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact a Public Asset Reform Bill 2021 for improved efficiency management of public assets in Nigeria, and for the related matter, HB 1470. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move the bill should be read for the second time. I so move.
Is Honorable Victor here? Akijo. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My very distinguished colleague, Kolade V. Akinjo is my name. I just saw the Federal constituency. I rise to second the motion that the bill for an act to repeal the Public Enterprises Privatization and Commercialization Act, Laws of the Federation, and enact the Public Access Reform Bill 2021 for improved efficiency and management of public access in Nigeria, as moved by my chairman, be seconded for second reading. Thank you, Mr. Chief. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Wakama, do you want to add some flesh, or it's straightforward? We'll put the question. Huh?
Very straightforward, sir.
Put the question.
Yes.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to repeal the Public Enterprises Privatization and Commercialization Act, Cap 38, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and enact the Public Assets Reform Bill 2021 for improved efficiency and management of public assets in Nigeria and for related matters. Second reading.
Okay, no, we already put the question. All right. So the bill is referred to the Committee on and Commercialization. Seventh order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Education, Katsina Allah, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Richard Bande. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, November 2019, and now invite Honorable Bande to move that the bill be now read a second time. Honorable Bande. Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm Dr. Richard Bandi, member representing the people of Katsina, Okum, Logo Federal Constituency from Benue State. I rise to move for a bill for an act to establish Federal University of Education, Katsina, Benue State to provide training and teaching in every aspect of education in Nigeria, matters of administration, discipline of students, and for related matters.
Did you send me
Hereby
the-
moved, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah. Honorable Idris, Yobe State. Please second.
The other thing I'll take offline with you is too long to take.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, I rise to second the motion for a bill to provide for the establishment of further education personnel. I do second.
Just wait.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Clerk, please, the long title. Yeah.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Education, Katsina Island, for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education. Eighth order of the day is a motion on need to investigate the alleged insertion of the advice for payment of ransom into the National Youth Service Corps pamphlets containing security tips. Standing in the name of Honorable Ndodi Elumelu, Honorable Elumelu is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndodi Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anocho Shumefera constituency. I'm from Delta State. The need to investigate the alleged insertion of the advice for payment of ransom into the National Youth Service Corps pamphlets containing security tips. The House notes that the National Youth Service Corps was created on May 22nd, 1973 as an avenue for reconciliation, reconstruction, and rebuilding of the nation after the Civil War. Also notes that the program was set up primarily for Nigerian graduates below the age of 30 who intend to work in Nigeria to be at the forefront of national developmental efforts, as well as a means to impart values of nationalism, patriotism, loyalty, and accountable leadership in Nigerian youth. The House is aware that the program required that participants be posted to states other than their states of origin, where they are expected to mix with people from other ethnic groups, social and family backgrounds, and learn the culture of the indigenes they are posted to bring about unity in the country regardless of cultural diversity. The House also aware that the security challenges in the country affect corps members, as some of them on their way to respective places of posting are falling victim of kidnap for ransom. Some have lost their lives to insurgents and other mishaps. The House is concerned that in the last few days, reports have surfaced with the picture evidence of an embarrassing provision under Section 8E, Section 65E of the NYC Security Tips pamphlet, advising corps members to tell their families to make ransoms available in case they are kidnapped on the road. The House also concerned that the inclusion of the said section shows a complete collapse in the architectural system of the country's security forces and a major worry for friends and family as to why their children should be allowed to participate in this compulsory exercise. The House is further concerned that the provision shows a lack of concern for the Safety Corps members as against the provisions of Section 19 of the Public Officers Protection Act, which places the welfare and security of Corps members on the federal government. The House is therefore disturbed that the insertion of such a clause by the NYC in its security tips manual portrays the inability of the government to provide security on the highways, as well as a surrender by the government to kidnappers and bandits. The House therefore resolves to mandate the House Committee on Youth Development to investigate the insertion of item 60 in section 65E in the NYC Security Awareness and Education Handbook to ensure that the adequate measures are put in place to provide safety of corps members across the country within 4 weeks. I so move.
Honorable Leke Abejide.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Honorable Leke Abejide, this is my name. I represent the good people of Yabafara constituency. I'm from Kogi State. I rise to second the motion as moved by Minority Leader. I so second.
Honorable Elumelu, I thought NYC had come out publicly to deny this so-called insertion. Are you aware?
Officially, they have done that.
Well, I don't know if it's official.
Mr. Speaker, I'm aware that they tried to deny it. But, Mr. Speaker, I have before me the pamphlet, the public document which I got from NYC, certified, and section 65E, very clear and unambiguous. And if with your kind permission, I can read. And this is the pamphlet that they are using everywhere. And the section 65 is, the heading is advisory trips to minimize being victims of kidnappers or hostage takers. 65 says, when traveling in a high-risk roads such as Abuja, Kaduna, Abuja, Lokoja, Okene, or Aba, Port Harcourt roads, then alert your family members, friends, and colleagues in order to have someone on hand to pay off the ransom that could be demanded. F goes on to say, be at your guard in your immediate environment and remain suspicious at all times while moving within the urban centers. Avoid isolated roads, take only basic requirements while traveling, do not accept offer of lift to unfamiliar places, dress moderately while on journey, especially by road, delete all financial or business transactions from communication gadgets such as iPad or handsets. G, identify secure places such as police stations, posts, or road safety posts, or military barracks. Mr. Speaker, all I'm trying to say is that this thing came from NYC.
Mr. All right, yeah, if
Mr. Speaker, sir.
If that is from NYC, it's definitely problematic, if it is. But where an institution has come out publicly, not privately, officially denied something, we must also take cognizance of the fact, which is a problem in this country, about documents, even the Constitution. Unfortunately, you find fake constitutions are being sold on the street, and something needs to be done about that. Because I'll find it difficult that if they truly put that in there, and I'm not holding brief for them, maybe they did, but if they truly have that in their official pamphlet, they will still come out and deny. That's not denial, that's a lie. There's a difference. That's actually a lie if they actually did that. So, but we have to take consideration of the fact that people, and you use your words, your motion said insertion. That means it was inserted in the document. See, that word insertion means it could have been, it's not the original. But so during your course of investigation, assuming that we pass the motion, during your course of investigation, I think we need to first of all verify the authenticity of that. That's very important. If it's authentic, then there's a problem. So will somebody want to say something?
Mr. Speaker, you've made the point actually.
Okay. So it has been seconded. We put the question. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The ninth of the day is a motion on breach of international laws by the Indonesian immigration officials against a Nigerian diplomat. Standing in the name of Honorable Rotimi Agusoye. Honorable Agusoye is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Dear colleagues, my name is Honorable Prince Rotimi Agusoye, representing Koshope Federal Constituency of Lagos. The motion before us has to do with breach of international laws by the Indonesian immigration officials against a Nigerian diplomat. The House notes the sad incident of 7th August 2021 when officers and men of the Immigration Department in Indonesia arrested a Nigerian diplomat in front of his quarters, manhandled and nearly choked him to breathlessness against every known diplomatic and international laws and conventions. Also note that such dastardly act of impunity represents an infraction to the hitherto cordial diplomatic relationship between Nigeria and Indonesia. Aware of several reports of ill treatment meted on Nigerian citizens in foreign countries and the poor response of the federal government to the plight of Nigerians in diaspora.
The House Leader, no, I wanted to announce something. It's okay. So it's all right, it's okay. Let him continue.
Acknowledges the need to ensure that all Nigerians in the diaspora are treated with respect in line with the tenets of diplomatic and international laws and conventions. The House resolves to 1. Urge the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Nigerians in diaspora commission to ensure that all Nigerian embassies and foreign missions respond promptly to infringements and violations of the rights and privileges of Nigerians across the globe. 2. Also urge the government of Indonesia to offer a public apology to the Nigerian government and in particular the diplomat assaulted and compensate him appropriately. 3. Mandate the committees on foreign affairs and diaspora to investigate the level of compliance and report back within 4 weeks to further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Any seconder? Comrade. Hold on, comrade. Yeah.
You're okay. Why are you
Okay. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am from Kano State, and my name is Comrade Aminu Suleiman. I represent Pagi Federal Constituency. I'm on my feet to support and second the motion ably raised by former activist Honorable Rotimi I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Before we put the question, anybody want to speak against? No? Chairman Foreign Affairs, you have information? What's your information? What to take motion?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Yusuf Buba Yakub. I represent Gombe Home Federal Constituency from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, the motion moved has been adequately taken care of by the Joint Committee of Foreign Affairs, both the Senate and House of Reps. And we have also met with the Minister of Foreign Affairs with his team, and also some members of the retired ambassadors of Nigeria. The ambassador of Indonesia has been summoned by the ministry, and he has given explanation which led to an apology by the Indonesian government. The officers involved have been arrested.
Honorable Benson.
The officers involved have been arrested, and the officer that is the victim, our embassy staff, his treatment, medical treatments have been taken care of by the Indonesian government, and we have also demanded for compensation for him. So the matter has been well taken care of, Mr. Speaker. That's the information.
So the issue has already been looked into by your committee? It has been taken care of? Okay, so Honorable Agusoye, do you mind liaising with the committee to find out if that is the same issue? I'm sure it's the same. If it's been taken care of, there's no point in us duplicating our efforts. Do you have something here?
Well, Mr. Speaker, if that very case has been taken care of, I don't have any problem, but in other areas, they still have work to do. Whenever we have problems with our diplomats over there, within or outside, something has to be done by them.
Yeah, Chairman Foreign Affairs. Chairman Foreign Affairs, beyond Indonesia, if there are other issues like that that involve our diplomats, help us look into it. All right, so the matter is step down or withdrawn.
He said, okay, so.
The 10th order of the day is a motion on urgent need to provide solution to the persistent congestion in Nigerian ports. Standing in the name of Honorable Mukhtar Ahmed, Honorable Ahmed is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I still remain Mukhtar Ahmed, aka Morovia. The motion is for an urgent need to provide solution to the persistent congestion at the Nigerian ports. The House notes that out of the 6 ports in Nigeria, Apapa and Tinkan Island ports jointly handle about 80% of imports into the country. The House also notes that the other ports have been operating far below capacity, as they jointly handle only 20% of the cargo volume. The House is concerned that the 2 Lagos ports have been bedeviled by excruciating congestion, which are adversely impacting on the ease of doing business, in this way leading to loss of revenues to the country. The House also is concerned that obsolete clearing methods abandonment of containers by importers, lack of automation of clearing, high terminal charges, exorbitant demurrage charges, absence of call-up system, cumbersome and multiple clearing procedures, corrupt and other sharp practices have not helped the present congestion, which have so far defied all solutions. The House is worried that Apapa Port, Tinkan Island Port, One Port, and other ports are presently harboring not less than 8,000 containers, which have remained uncleared, including those at customs warehouses, which are not auctioned. The House is also worried that the statutory process of the congestion through auction sales has not helped much due to the slow pace of Nigeria's administration of justice in condemning the seizures presented by the Nigerian Customs Service. The House is further worried that above scenario has caused the diversion of cargoes from Nigeria to her coastal neighbors like Benin Republic and Togo, thereby leading to loss of huge business and revenues running into hundreds of billions of dollars. Cognizant that unless drastic action is taken to address the situation, the problem may soon become intractable. The House hereby resolves that 1. Urge the Nigerian Customs Service to develop a speedy process of auctioning containers that are over 45 days at the port to make the ports more competitive with the ports of neighboring countries. 2. Mandate the Committee on Custom and Excise to carry out a comprehensive investigation into the causes of persistent congestion in Nigerian ports to find short-term, medium, and long-term solutions and report back within 3 days for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, I so move. Thank you.
Any seconder? Honorable Bina.
So, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Obinna Chidoka, member representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. I rise this afternoon to second this very important and urgent motion that will need to provide solution to the persistent congestion of the Nigerian ports, moved by my dear friend, Honorable Mukhtar Ahmed. I so second, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, there's an amendment from Honorable Ganiu Johnson. Honorable Ganiu Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Abdul Ganiu Johnson. I represent the good people of Oshodi, Isolo, Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is to add to the prayers that in addition to prayers 1 and 2, there is need for us to urgently encourage Federal Ministry of Works to complete the ongoing roads, especially on Apapa Tinkan Island Road and the Wharf Road. Even if customs, even if prayers 1 and 2 are done, if prayer 3, which is the Apapa Tinkan Oworonshoki Express Road, is not completed, and the Wharf Road also is not completed, we will still have bottleneck around the ports, because the major cause is not evacuation only from inside the port,
but outside the port. So I'm looking at it holistically. Thank you.
Any seconder to that amendment? Honorable Victor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Kolade Via Kinjo, the largest of the federal constituency. I rise to second the very important amendment made by my honorable colleagues. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Kuya, you have an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Honorable Ademori Kuye. I represent the good people of Shomolu Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State, sir. Mr. Speaker, I wish to make an amendment to prayer 2 of this motion to say that the mandate the Committee on Custom and Excise and the Committee on Ports Administration to carry out the comprehensive investigation, because it's apparent in the course of the persistent congestion in Nigerian ports to find a short-term and medium-term and long-term solutions and report back within 3 weeks for further legislative action. And so amend.
Honorable Buju, please second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Jukins Lechima, member representing Ohajima Oguta, Oru West Federal Constituency of Imo State. I hereby second the motion as ably moved by Honorable Kuye. Thank you very much.
Honorable Gagdi, Honorable Yusuf Gagdi here. Please approach the chair. Those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. $11 is a motion on urgent need to rehabilitate the collapsed bridge and other components of the road linking Umochima Obioha in Idiato south of Imo State and Uga Ekuloba Newi Oka in Anambra State, standing in the name of Honorable Pascal Obi. Honorable Obi is invited to move the motion.
Hello. I represent the good and very amiable people of Idata North, Idata South Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Imo State, the Eastern Heartland. I rise this afternoon to move this motion on the urgent need to rehabilitate the collapsed bridge and other components of the road linking Umuchima, Obiohia in Idata South of Imo State and Oga Ekulobia, Nnewi, Oka in Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, the House notes that Owerri Olu Idato Oga Ekulobia, Nnewi, Oka Federal Road is a major link between Imo and Anambra states. The House also notes that the previous administration in Imo State undertook major engineering and construction works on the road, and for which current administration in Imo State has renewed through its Ministry of Works, especially between Akwakuma Junction in Owerri and the popular Banana Junction in Olu. The House is concerned that excessive rainfalls in 2021 have created flooding, leading to the collapse of certain sections of the federal road from the boundary of Olu Local Government Council in Imo State to Umuchima, Obiohia, and other Idata South sections of the road. The House is worried that the damage which resulted from excessive flooding has severed access from the Owerri Olu section into the Idata North, Idata South Federal Constituency, and from the Nnewi Oka Ekulobioga section through Idata into Owerri Olu sections, as well as the Umuchima Obiohia axis in Idata North, Idata South Federal Constituency of Imo State. The House is also worried that the situation has caused a displacement of houses and villages, thus resulting in a humanitarian crisis in Idata North, Idata South Federal Constituency of Imo State, which I represent. The House is also further worried that floods have caused further deterioration of the erosion in Idata North, Idata South Federal Constituency and caused untold hardship to the inhabitants as well as the commuters. The House is therefore most humbly urged to resolve as follows. 1, to urge the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to undertake urgent rehabilitations and or reconstruction of the road, especially the Umuchima Idato Olu axis. 2, to mandate the Committee on Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Bogos.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Dachu Musa Bagos, representing Jos South, Jos East Federal Constituency. From the peaceful state of Plateau, I rise to second the motion moved by my senior honorable colleague, Honorable Pascal, on the urgent need to rehabilitate the collapsed building in their place. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. The 12th order of the day is a motion on a call to address the flood disaster ravaging Cheyenne community in Bruton local government area of Kwara State, standing in the name of Honorable Mohammed Omar Bio. Honorable Bio is invited to move the motion.
His Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues, Mohammed Omar Bio is my name. I speak for the people of Barutin and Kayama Federal Constituency. I come from Kwara State. Mr. Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues, I rise to move a motion on the call to address the flood disaster ravaging Cheyenne community in Barutin local government area of Kwara State. The House notes that said community is one of the border communities in Bate local government area of Kwara State in Kenu Tabira Ward. Also note that the heavy rainfall which occurred in the 8th and the 10th of September 2021 resulted in the flood that ravaged the entire community, destroyed properties, farmlands, and rendered the people homeless, thereby having to seek refuge in neighboring communities. Cognizant that the effect of the flood disaster in said community cannot be remedied unless urgent intervention of the government and its agencies are obtained by the community. Resolves: urge the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to urgently provide relief materials to victims of the flood disaster in said community in Batin local government area of Kwara State. 2. Also urge the Ecological Fund Office to take measures towards finding lasting solutions to forestall future flood occurrence in the community. 3. Mandate the Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness and internally displaced persons and refugees to ensure compliance. My right honorable Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues, I so move.
Honorable Francis. Microphone here. All right, it's a disaster motion, so I'll just put the question. Amendment? Okay. Honorable Chinedu, what's your amendment?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Emeka Chinedu. I represent the good people of Ayazum, Disa, and Ezin, the federal constituency. Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues, I'm from Imo State. Mr. Speaker, the amendment I want to make is that my constituency is also affected because of the current rain situation we have in the country. And I want my community, E2, Ubohia, and the Obama community to be included in this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Support my amendment.
Those is above the amendment. Is seconder for the amendment. Honorable Mzondu.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Benjamin Bem Mzondo, member representing Makudi Guma, and the Speaker of the Teaming Unemployed Youth. I rise this afternoon to second the amendment as ably moved by my friend Honorable Chinedu. I so second.
Those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Those in favor of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. 13th order of the day is a motion on urgent need to investigate the electricity distribution companies disclosed in Nigeria for overbilling customers without adequate electricity supply, standing in the name of Honorable Bello Mohammed Shamsuddin. Honorable Shamsuddin is invited to move the motion. Is Honorable Shamsuddin here?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Shamsuddin Bello Dambazo. I represent Taka Ismaila Federal Constituency. I am from Kano State. I rise to move a motion on the urgent need to investigate electricity distribution companies in Nigeria for overbilling customers without adequate power supply. I so submit. Go ahead. Okay. Thank you. The House notes that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission ordered that refunds should be made to overbilled customers of electricity distribution companies in Nigeria as a result of overbilling by the distribution companies. Aware that the Commission directed electricity distribution companies to provide refunds through energy credits on all excess charges to customers due to the adjustments in the estimation method. The customers are to get 16 to 20 hours of supply and pay 48 naira per kilowatt hour. But when they undersupply, they still charge the same rate. Also aware that the Commission further ordered defaulting electricity distribution companies to within 5 days notify the affected customers due to the adjustments in the, to notify the affected customers of the overbilling in writing in line with Regulation 9, subsection 7 of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission's meter reading, billing, cash collection, and credit management for electricity suppliers, Regulation 2007. Concerned that billing consumers based on the hours of electricity received daily, a World Bank survey indicated 78% of electricity consumers in Nigeria get less than 12 hours of electricity daily, and most times it is intermittent. Worried that the increase in tariff does not reflect the number of hours of power supplied, yet Nigerians are made to pay for what they have not consumed. Cognized that consumers experience poor electricity supply and still pay the higher tariff while undersupplied. Resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the practices of the electricity distribution companies while increasing the electricity tariff, overbilling Nigerians, and non-compliance to the directives of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission to ensure consumer rights are protected and report back within 3 weeks for further legislative action. I so submit. Thank you.
Okay. Seconder, your mic. Honorable Idris.
Honorable Kaoje and retired PAMSEC, quickly take your leaves.
Honorable Idris, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so very much, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished colleagues, I am Jato Mohammed Awal, representing the hardworking, tax-paying, peace-loving, and law-abiding people of the Federal Constituency. I am from Bauchi State. A call to address urgent need to investigate the electricity distribution companies that is discussed in Nigeria for overbilling customers without adequate electricity supply and rational reasons are humbly hereby seconded as ably moved by my distinguished colleagues. Thank you. I so second.
Honorable Jato, did you move your seat? I actually thought you were sitting on Honorable Idris' seat. Okay, so Honorable Jato, you were seconding the motion. Okay. So we'll just put the question. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The 14th order of the day is a motion on need to investigate the concession of some airports in Nigeria, standing in the name of Honorable Kolade Victor Akinjo. Honorable Akinjo is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My very dear colleague, Kolade V. Akinjo is my name, and I represent Lajeso, the Federal Constituency. I rise to move a motion on the need to investigate the concession of some airports of Nigeria. The House knows that the federal government embarked on privatization and commercialization of public enterprises to introduce private sector resources and discipline, create jobs, reduce the burden of funding of the public enterprises on the national treasury in line with global practices. Also note that the National Council on Privatization, NCP, in the exercise of its powers conferred on it pursuant to Section 2 and 3 of the Public Enterprises Privatization and Commercialization 1999 Act, approved that the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Lagos, Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, and Port Harcourt International Airport be concessioned or commercialized. Further note that NCP succeeded in the concession of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport to a call investor in January 2007, but the process was aborted for security reasons and the matter is pending in court. Aware that the Federal Ministry of Aviation has commenced the process to concession the aforementioned airports, but without the involvement of NPC and BPE, which is in violation of the Public Enterprise Privatization and Commercialization Act of 1999. Concerned that the federal government may not be able to realize the overall objectives and aims of the concession to attract credible investors, therefore, because of perennial litigations as a result of the breach of the provisions of the BPE Act and other relevant acts. And therefore, the House resolved to mandate the Committee on Privatization and Commercialization to investigate the concession of the Nigerian airports by the Federal Ministry of Aviation and report back to the House within 4 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker, my dear honorable colleagues.
Honorable Adiogo.
Mr. Speaker, this resolution has been taken.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Adejora Adiogun. I represent the good people of Akoko South-East Southwest Federal Constituency. I'm from Ondo State. I rise to support the motion ably moved by my colleague, Honorable Akinjo Kolaka. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Against? If you are speaking against, go ahead. I don't know why. So let's hear you.
Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues.
Cheer.
Yeah, my name is Chinyere Igwe PhD. Mr. Speaker, I represent the very amiable people of Port Harcourt, the capital of the treasure base of Nigeria. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is not against is not far-fetched. Mr. Speaker, penultimate weeks, this issue was on the front burner of the Nigerian media that the Federal Ministry of Aviation is planning, Mr. Speaker, the key word is planning to concess the airport. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, the process of that concession have not been released. So we cannot preempt either the exclusion of MPC or BPE. So I therefore move that let us not be too hasty in becoming a meddlesome interloper for an issue that the executive have not completed action. It is where and when action is completed, we can now come in to say the due processes were not followed. Mr. Speaker, that is my only correction. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kuya, for or against?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Honorable Ademori Kuya. I represent the good people of Shomolu Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, this particular motion has earlier been brought and the matter referred to Committee on Aviation. By way of information, sir, Mr. Speaker, the chairman Committee on Aviation set up a subcommittee headed by Honorable Linda Ikpeazu, who has invited all the parties concerned in this matter. The report of that committee has been submitted to the Committee on Aviation, and I'm sure that this matter is already being dealt with. I want to pray that this matter be stepped down because it's already been looked at. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so there's a problem. There's a problem. The business and rules is saddled with the responsibility that the matter is already taken. So why did you list it? Why was it listed? That means the business and rules is not doing its job. Whoever is supposed to be doing it. Is there a problem with how business and rules works that they will put something on the other paper and they'll come back and say the matter has already been considered? Is there a business, so that we can know how to address the process in business and rules?
We cannot deny the fact that we have little challenges here and there in the committee, but we are looking at it to make sure that this kind of thing is...
Do you have a computerized system?
We do.
So why is it difficult to just do a search or will bring you all the issues? If you put in airport motions, you should be able to see every motion that has come up.
Mr. Chairman of the committee is doing his best. In fact, just recently we had a training for the officers at the secretariat, and we continue to do that to the best of our ability until they become what we want them to be.
At what point does it get to you? Who are the people that list these matters? Is it your staff?
Well,
because if you want us to change the staff around, we will. If they're making your job difficult.
No, sir. No, sir. We'll look at it. We'll address these difficulties. We'll address it and we'll make sure that.
So you are saying for the fact that this matter has already been, in fact, it's been investigated. The report is already with the committee.
The report is already there, sir. The chairman of the committee was Honorable Linda Ikpeazu. I was a member of the committee. Honorable Yemi Ali was a member of the committee. You know.
Okay.
Over this matter before. The Minister for Aviation was invited. The labor union at the aviation sector, they were invited. FAN was invited. All of them. They made presentation.
Okay.
They all made presentation.
Okay. Honorable Victor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My very dear colleague, without prejudice to the assertion of my dear colleague. At the level of the Committee on Privatization and Commercialization, we got, torrents of petition as regards the concession of the national assets, in view of the fact that those important institutions saddled with the law to actually pursue the principles and the concept of commercialization and concession, particularly BP, ICROC, that they are not properly briefed, they are not informed. When it comes to the issue of privatization, concession, we know the institutions that pilot that affairs. And of course, it's the responsibility of such a committee to ensure that there is compliance. And when there is an element to the fact that there is no compliance, we got a responsibility within the House to do the needful. Notwithstanding that there is a committee on aviation, when it comes to national assets, diversion of national assets is within the purview of the Committee on Privatization and Commercial, and we are not furnished as appropriate. And I think what we have done here is in the interest of the possibility of litigation moving forward. And when somebody said that the country or the federal government is in consideration, no. The whole thing has moved beyond consideration. As we talk, the whole of this thing is within the public gear. Advertisement made, institutions saddled with the law to do the needful. They are not properly briefed. And who is beyond the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? And if no report has been laid, we can do what we are supposed to do. We are here to work, and there's no duplication of responsibility when it comes to doing the needful. So this motion is actually very important, and it is about saving Nigerians from people infracting laws when they are not supposed to do. Mr. Speaker, I beg you and I plead with the House to allow us to do the needful within the purview of privatization and commercialization. I so speak, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, yes. You see, these are the problems that you cause in business and rules. And now, I mean, this matter, you see, your motion, Honorable Victor, is very specific on airports. It wasn't on national assets, it was on airports. So this is a case of overlapping mandate, is what you're trying to say here, is an overlapping mandate. We cannot say that the Committee on Aviation does not have jurisdiction. Neither can we say your committee does not have jurisdiction. It might even be the one with primary jurisdiction, being Committee on Privatization and Concession. But in a situation where a committee of the House that is also saddled with the same responsibility as far as airports are concerned with you has actually done the engagement, done the work. It honestly, while I sympathize, appears to be duplicating efforts. So what happens to the work that they've already done when they've invited the Minister of Aviation, they've invited FAN, they've invited the Airport Authority, they've invited... My suggestion would be that before whatever report is submitted to the House, that maybe you liaise with that committee. If there is an input, or if you feel that there are areas where they've fallen short, I think you should work together with the committee. So I think what will just rule is that since the report has not been submitted, that the Committee on Privatization and Concession join in the ongoing investigation, because we cannot abort it. It was a motion passed by this House. We cannot abort it, and it's also within their jurisdiction. So I will rule that you join them in the ongoing investigation on the concession of airports. So that way you also have an input. Amendment? Yes. So we're not withdrawing the motion. We're just going to basically rule that they join. Yes. What's the amendment, Mr.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Actually, I've been raising my hands to move. My name is Benjamin Bem Zondu. I speak for the people of Makudi Guma. We are from Benue State and also the unofficial speaker of the unemployed youths. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Yahoo?
The unofficial speaker
of,
all the unemployed youths of Nigeria.
but you are employed.
I'm not employed, I legislate here.
No, you cannot be the speaker, official or unofficial, if you are not one of them.
So stop asking that.
That would,
You might want to resign your whatever in the House of Representatives and go and join them. And then you can be the speaker, official for that matter.
that will come by way of emotion.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, sir. I was actually going to bring it to the purview of the angle you have actually brought it. Because these are two different committees of the House. Committee on Aviation, Committee on Privatization and Commercialization. Even the fact that this has to do with airport.
He's laying the ground. He's laying the ground for his amendment. Go ahead.
The role that ought to be played here is a role that is not defined by this House to be handled by the Committee on Aviation. But having ruled in the direction you have ruled, I will also now amend that we now mandate the Committee on Privatization and Commercialization to join in the ongoing investigation with aviation. That is my own amendment, so that it will come by way of a motion.
Yes, it's true.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, sir.
Honorable Chinedu. Honorable Toby wants to say. Okay. Go ahead, Honorable Chinedu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Emeka Chinedu. I represent the good people of Ayazun, Bisa, and Ezin Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm from Imo State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable, the amendment made by Honorable Zondo.
Those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. These guys, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Toby. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Toby Okechukwu. I represent an area of Wejiriba Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, I agree that the two motions should be consolidated. I also would advise from the benefit of hindsight, you see a situation where Aviation Committee has done some work. It may not have taken care or note of some of the regimes in privatization and commercialization. I think that there is a relevant agency of government that deals with the front-end activities of concession, and that is ICRC. I would think that the committee responsible for ICRC would be incorporated so that we don't get back to this process, so that we are seen to have observed the rules, the regulations, and the laws that guide these processes. By the time we deal with it, it should come to a conclusion, and not for us to be seen to have avoided, or because of absence of facts or knowledge, may have not done a prudent work. I will think that I will move that an amendment should also be corrected. That ICRC committee, the committee in charge of ICRC, should be integrated in the.
Yeah, isn't that your committee? Victor.
Thank you, sir. Everything around privatization and commercialization, content-wise, you have cost section and all stuff. But we've not been interfacing with ICRC. Possibility of the fact that there might be another committee doing that. I had wanted to also draw your attention to the fact that ICRC should naturally operate within privatization and commercialization.
ICRC is under who? I see. Okay, so we've taken your amendment, Mzondo. We've taken, anybody to second Honorable Toby's amendment that ICRC be involved in this process? No seconder. There's nobody to second Honorable Toby's. This is amazing. This is amazing. Even you, minority leader, you don't want to second Honorable Toby's. You know? You advise him. The two PDP leaders are fighting. Please, hold on. Honorable, you advised him, right? He didn't listen to your advice, right? And now he should bear his own. Yeah, okay. Honorable Toby, there's a problem. Okay, but nobody to second your. He said there's no. You are pointing all the way to Kuya. You have to look all the way to an APC man to second your. Every Kuya was second. That's afterthought, or it's too late. There's a second already.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Honorable Ademori Kuye. I represent the good people of Shomolu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I was just going to actually mention that by virtue of Order 20 of Rule 90, I think the Committee on Privatization and Commercialization actually takes care of RCRC. Because if you look at, with the kind permission of Mr. Speaker, sir, Rule 91(2), the committee's jurisdiction shall cover oversight of all matters relating to privatization and commercialization of government enterprises and institutions in which government has investment. The B of that subsection says, generally monitoring the functions and operations of National Privatization Council and all other agencies, the key was established by law on privatization and commercialization, of which ISC is one of them. So I think the prayer of Honorable Victor Kolade will just be sufficient for this purpose. So I don't know whether it's a secondment or.
As a matter of fact, if you go to page 233 of your rules, under the Committee on Special Duties, where it assigns them their jurisdiction, two, 3, 4. So it's how to reconcile that is a problem. It says the 234 G, oversight of the Infrastructure and Concession Regulatory Commission, special duties. So it appears under our rules, ICRC is under special duties. I'm not sure what informed that, except maybe because it's directly under presidency. You see, Toby, can you reconcile, go to 233 and reconcile what I just read with them, and maybe Honorable Kuya too, 99.2a. 99.2a. That's on page 233, 99.2a. Oversight of all matters related to the office of the president.
No, I've seen it. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I think, I was House Committee Chairman.
No, but read it out so that we can know, because the two provisions seem to conflict.
Exactly.
99.2a and then G.
Okay, 99.2a reads, the committee's jurisdiction shall cover A, oversight of all matters relating to the offices of the president and the vice president, save those assigned to other committees.
Save those assigned to other committees. So those assigned to other committees belong to those committees.
Exactly.
Right? Now, it appears from what you've read, you can infer that ICRC is under privatization. But if you then go overleaf to 234G, it specifically says ICRC shall be under special duties. So there's a conflict which we'll find out how to resolve later. So for now, we have to go by what
yes, apparently, Mr. Speaker, we have some of these issues that come up all the time. I had been a member of the sports committee. You will see sports committee in charge of lottery, trust fund, and lottery commission at a point in time. By a fluction of time and practice and operation, we were able to do some corrections. I think by responsibility and duty, ICRC, the type of job they do, it falls within privatization and commercialization. But as an agency of government, the ICRC under the presidency, as our rules say, would fall under special duties. The same way special duties was at a point oversighting lottery commission and lottery trust fund. So I think we need to do some homework here so that we adjust properly.
Okay. So who's seconding his amendment?
Mr. Speaker, in the light of the revelation and the pointing out of Mr. Speaker to the provision of that same Rule 99, paragraph G, I want to second the amendment as moved by Honorable Toby. I so second, sir.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anochi Oshimili Federal Council. I'm from Delta State. I come order 20, Rule 90. And that has to do with committee on...
What page is that?
Page, this man went and removed it. Mr. Speaker, I was trying to draw your attention to motion 13 to the effect that the prayer was to say we should set up an ad hoc committee. And if you look at this order 20 rule 90, you will see that the same provision here applies to that prayer. So I want to ask or seek that we rescind our decision as it relates to that resolution and refer that assignment to Committee on Power. This is my submission.
Yes, it was drawn to my attention that that motion called for the setup of an ad hoc committee for a motion that's for a matter that rests squarely on power. Unfortunately, I was distracted at the time, and we passed the motion as is. So I think it's important to reverse that and send it to the standing committee. Those in favor of the motion for rescission, please say aye. Those against any, ayes have it. Those in favor of the motion that we send that earlier motion by Honorable Shamsuddin Bello to the Committee on Power, please say aye. Those against it, say nay. Ayes have it. Also, it was pointed out to me we had an earlier petition. I think it was the first petition of today by Prince Obi, on to do with the host community, and that was sent to the public petitions. But under our rules, host committee reserves they have sole jurisdiction in petitions that involve host communities. So that petition, clerk, please send that to the host community, not public petitions. The 15th order of the day is concerned of a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Agriculture, Jalingo, to make comprehensive provisions for management and administration of the university and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Wednesday, 25th September 2021. Honorable Fulata will move for the consideration. Acting Chairman Business, Deputy Chairman. Honorable Kuye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Ademori Alikuye. I represent Shomolu Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I want to appeal for the matter to be stepped down for another date to allow Honorable Fulata to come and take. Is he around? No, this one is Fulata. In that case, you will have stood up there. Eh?
Hold on. There are one or two important matters that I really cannot wait. Let's step down. Since the comrade is here and he's been here all day, so let's take his matter and then we'll take Navy as well. And then we'll go to supply. We'll take those two and then we'll go to supply. So I'll skip 15th order of the day. We'll go to 16th order of the day. The consideration of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnic Act. And for related matters, honorable members recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Thursday, 27 February 2020. The leader will move for its consideration.
Mr. Speaker, my great colleagues, once again, I'm Comrade Peter of Nuazuja Akpati. I represent the Akukwedo people. I'm from Edo State. I move that a bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnic Act and for related matters, HB 711, be read for the second time as well.
Any seconder?
Third time.
Honorable Munir, his second comrade's bill.
Polytechnics Act and to other related matters. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. We skip 17 to go to 18th. Order of the day is the consideration of report of the Committee on Navy on a bill for an act to establish the National Hydrographic Agency to carry out hydrographic and oceanographic surveys, including ocean meteorology for national defense and civil requirements and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Wednesday, 22nd September 2021. Honorable Yusuf Adamu Gagdi will move for its consideration.
Mr. Speaker, Gagdi, I represent Panshinkanki Kanam Federal Constituency. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to move that the House do consider a report on the Committee on Navy on a bill for an act to establish the National Hydrographic Agency to carry out hydrographic and oceanographic surveys, including ocean meteorology for national defense and civil requirements, and for related matters, HB 1021. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Osai.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Osai, Nicholas Osai. I represent local Kwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Munir, did you have a matter today? Is that the 19th? 19th. Okay, so the 19th order of the day is concerning of report of the Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institution of Bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship, Saki, Oyo State, and for related matters, honourable members recall that the report was laid on Thursday, 15 July. Honourable Danagundu will move for its consideration.
Consider a report that the House do consider a report of the Committee on Agricultural Colleges and Institutions on a bill for an act to establish Federal University of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship, Shaki, Oyo State, and for other related matters, and approve the recommendation there. I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable the Whip.
Honorable Speaker, foreign members, I hereby second the ably moved by the Chairman, House Committee, Agricultural Institutions.
Okay, the last order of the day, or 20th order of the day, is considered a report of Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to. Are you prepared to take this, comrade? On a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal College of Education, Technical, of course, Yauri, Kebbi State, to provide for, we must take this one, to provide for full-time courses, teaching, instructions, and training in technology, applied science, arts, social sciences, humanities, and management to carry out research in the development and adaptation of technologies and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the report was laid on Thursday, 1st July 2021. Honorable Aminu Sulaiman will move for its consideration. Your mic.
Okay, sir. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I'm from Kano State, and my name is Comrade Aminu Sulaiman. Honorable Speaker, I move that the House do consider the report of the Committee on Tertiary Education and Services on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Education Technical, Yauri, Kebbi State, where the Speaker is a traditional title holder, to provide for full-time courses, teaching, instruction, and training in technology and applied sciences. I so move, Honorable Speaker and my honorable colleagues.
Your mic. Seconder, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
When did you get back?
This morning, sir.
Okay.
And because of the commitment to serve my constituents, I have to be here this morning, sir.
Without isolating?
Without fear of any contradiction.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Ameja Hababa is my name. I represent Chibok, Dambua, and Goza Federal Constituency. I rise to second a motion ably moved by a ranking member, Chairman House Committee on Tertiary Education and Services, Honorable Aminu Sulaiman. I hereby second.
Comrade. Yes. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. House Leader, well, do we have a motion before the House Leader moves for Committee of Whole? Honorable Kuya, do you have a motion for suspension?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name remains Honorable Ademori Kuya. I represent Shomolu Federal Constituency. I'm from Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, I come under Order 7, Rule 2, Sub-Rule 2 of our standing orders to move a motion to suspend Order 7, Rule 2, Sub-Rule 2 to allow Mr. Speaker to chair the committee of the whole House. I so move.
Any Honorable Chief Whip?
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marche Monguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. I second the motion for suspension of our rules to enable the Speaker to preside over the Committee of the Whole, heavily moved by the Chairman Rules and Business.
Those in support, please say aye. Just get say nay. Ayes have it. Leader, please move that the House resolve to the Committee of the Whole. Deputy Leader.
Speaker, my dear colleagues, I move that this House do resolve to Committee of the Whole to consider a report. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye. Well, let's get a seconder first, actually. Honorable Gagdi, please second.
Zen Panshin Kanke Kanam Federal Constituency from Plateau State. I rise to second the motion every move. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it. The House is hereby resolved to the Committee of the Whole. The first bill to be considered, and we're going to be very quick about this. So just take 1 minute for each of these bills. Most of them are establishment bills. First bill to be considered is for an act to establish the Federal University of Agriculture, Jalingo, to make comprehensive provisions for management and administration of the university and for related matters. I invite here Honorable Fulata. No. I believe we stepped that one down, didn't we? Yes, because he's not around. The second bill to be considered is for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnics Act and for related matters. I invite Honorable Aminu Suleiman to give the synopsis of the bill.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. The bill under reference is actually a product of the 8th Assembly legislative activities, where it passed through all the legislative requirements leading to the passage of the bill before the 8th Assembly wind up. And unfortunately, it couldn't go for concurrence and has to be returned back to the 9th Assembly for legislative input. I will therefore crave the Honorable House, through the Speaker of the House, to allow this bill benefit from the relevant sections of our standing orders as it relates to bills that were considered in the last assembly for final passage and subsequent transferred to the Senate for concurrence. I move, Honorable Speaker, sir.
Is this the bill for the Federal Polytechnics Act?
Yes, sir. For further elucidation is just to amend the Federal Polytechnic Act Cap F17 and insert paragraph Q after paragraph P to allow for the creation of Federal Polytechnic Pagi, Kano State. That prayer that was ab initio approved by the 8th Assembly, Your Excellency. Keep quiet.
Okay, there's just, is it one or two clauses?
Yes, sir. Only one clause. Additional provision of paragraph Q to allow for the creation of Federal Polyphagy.
Okay, so it's the first schedule that is being amended.
Yes.
Which is clause 2.
Yeah.
Carried? Carried.
Thank you very much.
The fifth bill is to be considered is a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Agriculture and Entrepreneurship in Oyo State, and for related matters, I invite Honorable Munir Baba Danagulu to give the synopsis.
In our geopolitical zones, in terms of agri-entrepreneurship, is just, I think, one that has just been established in the Northwest in Kebbi State. And by the coming of this administration and the ample opportunities in agriculture in this country, we need these universities for our young ones so that they can root themselves to our agricultural activities in terms of production and value addition in all what we are doing. Mr. Speaker, because we lack entrepreneurship in our agricultural activities, that is why we are just a conduit to other countries when it comes to our agricultural resources in the country. Just take one commodity, for example, the cocoa. We don't process cocoa in this country because we are not tailored our institutions towards entrepreneurship. And Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ghana produce 70% of the world cocoa. And this business of cocoa runs into billions, to the tune of over $130 billion. And what these countries are getting is less than 5% of that amount. So we are just wasting our time when we don't have the skills, the way to process our cash crops. So it is in line with this that I think we need to have this kind of institutions in the country. So this is my take, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pretty straightforward. We go clause by clause. Clauses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Anybody? Carried? 11, 12, 13, 14. 17, 18. 19, 20, 21. Why are you laughing? If you have any objection to any of the clauses, let me know. Clause 22, 23, 24, 25. 6 and 27. That's exactly what we just did, Honorable Toby. That's what we just did. When you the day you become speaker, you come and do your own approach. You don't teach me how to do my job. Toby, nobody wanted to second your motion. Be very careful. So